How's it going, guys? Adam Bongiovanni back here with another video for OnlineBookClub.org's official YouTube channel. Now, it's the beginning of a new month. I feel like each month has its own flavor to it. So at the start of every month, I'm going to be doing book recommendations. So I'm going to describe and introduce you guys to books that I think fit the month. So we're obviously in November, so fall's in the full swing of things. It's getting a little chilly out, the leaves are changing, so this is all subjective. These are the books that I believe fit the month of November best. So let's get started. I also took a lot of recommendations from you guys on Twitter, and I picked 2 books that you guys recommended to me, which I'm going to be doing every time I do a book haul or book recommendation video. So let's start off with A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. Now this was recommended to me by Rada Clarissa on Twitter. Thanks so much, Clarissa, I truly appreciate it. The first type of book I chose for this book recommendation video is one that involves people in school. I feel like whenever I think of fall, I think of school, just because probably I spent 16 years in the fall time in school, so I feel like it just fits perfectly. So this book is called A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. When Adam Blake lands the best elective ever in his senior year, serving as an aide to the school psychologist, he thinks he's got it made. Sure, it means a lot of sitting around, which isn't easy for a guy with ADHD, but he can't complain, since he gets to spend the period texting all of his friends. Then the doctor asks him to track down the troubled freshman who keeps dodging her, and Adam discovers that the boy is Julian, the foster brother he hasn't seen in 5 years. Adam is ecstatic to be reunited. At first, Julian seems like the boy he once knew. He's still kind-hearted, still writes stories and loves picture books meant for little kids, but as they spend more time together, Adam realizes that Julian is keeping secrets, like where he hides during the middle of the day and what's really going on inside of his house. Adam is determined to help him, but his involvement could cost both of the boys their lives. You had a nice little school book, but then I feel like it takes a really hard left and takes a turn to something completely unknown, and maybe they're both gonna die. The second book we have today was also recommended by someone on Twitter. That person's name was Seb's Polaroids. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. And the book they recommended is The Couple Next Door by Shari LaPena. Now this book's a little more messed up. Like and I'll read the description, you'll understand. But I feel like we just passed Halloween, so it's okay if we do something a little creepy, you know? Something that's gonna scare someone. We're not so far removed from Halloween that we can't still be scared. I like how this description is written too. Your neighbor told you that she didn't want your 6-month-old daughter at the dinner party. Nothing personal, she just couldn't stand her crying. Your husband said it would be fine. After all, you only live next door. You'll have the baby monitor and you'll take turns to go back every half hour. Your daughter was sleeping when you checked on her last. But now, as you race up the stairs in your deathly quiet house, your worst fears are realized. She's gone. You've never had to call the police before, but now they're in your home and who knows what they'll find. What would you be capable of when pushed past your limit? It's definitely a thriller, but also you don't understand why the baby's missing just based on that description, so it's kind of creepy. I also like happy-go-lucky books, but sometimes you need a book like The Couple Next Door to kind of throw you off your trail. Okay, I actually searched the word November into like different book websites, and I found this book called November 9 by Colleen Hoover. It seems a little bit romantic, and the fall is a very romantic time, so I thought it'd be nice to throw in a romance novel for all the broken-hearted teens out there. Beloved #1 New York Times bestselling author Colleen Hoover returns with an unforgettable love story between a writer and his unexpected muse. Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day before her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same date every year. How romantic. Until one day Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling her the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of the ultimate plot. She doesn't really know him too well because she meets him in the same day every year. Knowing someone for 1 out of 365 days is not a lot. And also, you don't really know if he's choosing between this relationship and this perfect life, or if he's just trying to get the best novel out of her. So I feel like you got romance, we also got some mystery in there and some suspense, which is pretty cool. And maybe you'll get a thriller and they'll kill each other. Who knows? The last book I have is a classic that I've heard numerous people rave about, and it's been a few years since I've read it. I actually watched the movie way before I read this book, and it's post-apocalyptic, so that just reminds me of the leaves changing and everything dying. I feel like an apocalypse should happen in the fall time, where it looks beautiful outside, but also kind of dreary. So this is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. A father and son walk alone through burned America. Nothing moves in the ravaged landscape save the ash and the wind. It is cold enough to crack stones, and when the snow falls, it is gray. The sky is dark. Their destination is the coast, although they don't know what, if anything, awaits them there. They have nothing. just a pistol to defend themselves against the lawless bands that stalk the road, the clothes they are wearing, a cart of scavenged food, and each other. The Road is the profoundly moving story of a journey. It boldly imagines a future in which no hope remains, but in which the father and his son, each the other's entire world, are sustained by love. Awesome in the totality of its vision, The Road is an unflinching meditation on the worst and the best that we were capable of. Ultimate destructiveness, desperate tenacity, and the tenderness that keeps two people alive in the face of total devastation. So if you're looking for something a little more dark but also a little more real with being set in a post-apocalyptic world, I'd recommend The Road. It's a classic. Numerous people have raved about it. You go online and see all the reviews. People love it. You didn't talk about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a big American holiday and it's coming up in November. Why didn't you bring up any Thanksgiving books? Be thankful for books. That's it. Just be thankful for books. Be thankful for anything you pick up and read in November. Hope you guys enjoyed that book recommendation video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what's one book you're going to read in the month of November if you want to be next week's User of the Week. Please like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos every single Thursday. And I'll see you guys next week.